Siddhartha Gautama, who would become known as the Buddha, was born into the Shakya Clan, a small yet significant tribe in ancient India. This clan was part of the Kshatriya caste, which was traditionally associated with warriors and rulers. The royal family into which Siddhartha was born held considerable influence and prestige in their region, playing a crucial role in the socio-political landscape of their time. The Shakya clan was a republican oligarchy, a form of governance where power was vested in a small group of elites rather than being centralized under a single monarch. This political structure distinguished them from many other contemporary states, which were typically monarchies. The Shakyas resided in the foothills of the Himalayas, in what is now southern Nepal, with Kapilavastu being their capital. King Shuddhodana was the father of Siddhartha Gautama. As the chief of the Shakya clan, he wielded considerable authority and was responsible for maintaining order and overseeing the administration of his domain. The title king can be somewhat misleading. Shuddhodana's role was more akin to that of a chieftain or head of state within a republican framework. Shuddhodana's primary concern was the prosperity and security of his people. His reign was marked by a degree of affluence, as evidenced by the luxurious lifestyle enjoyed by his family. He desired that his son, Siddhartha, follow in his footsteps and continue the lineage of leadership. To this end, Shuddhodana took great pains to shield Siddhartha from the harsh realities of life, ensuring he was surrounded by comfort and pleasure within the confines of the palace. Queen Maya, also known as Mayadev, was the mother of Siddhartha Gautama. She was renowned for her beauty and virtue, and her life is shrouded in legend and reverence within Buddhist traditions. According to traditional accounts, she experienced a miraculous dream in which a white elephant entered her side, a symbol interpreted by Brahmin scholars as a sign that she would give birth to a great leader or spiritual teacher. Maya gave birth to Siddhartha in the Lumbini Grove, while on her way to her parental home. It is said that she gave birth standing up, holding onto a branch of a sal tree. Tragically, Maya passed away just 7 days after Siddhartha's birth. Her sister, Mahaprajapati Gautam, subsequently took on the role of Siddhartha's foster mother. Mahaprajapati Gautam was Maya's sister and the second wife of King Shuddhodana. After Maya's death, she cared for Siddhartha with great affection and dedication. She bore Shuddhodana 2 children, Siddhartha's half-siblings, Nanda, a son, and Sundar Nanda, a daughter. Gautama's influence on Siddhartha was significant. She later became the first woman to be ordained as a Buddhist nun, marking a critical development in the establishment of the Buddhist monastic community. Yasodhara was Siddhartha's wife and the mother of his only son, Rahula. She was a cousin to Siddhartha, the daughter of Supabuddha and Amita, and thus also part of the Shakya clan. Yasodhara married Siddhartha when they were both 16 years old. Their marriage is often depicted as loving and harmonious. However, Yasodhara's life took a dramatic turn when Siddhartha renounced his princely life to seek enlightenment. Yasodhara remained in Kapilavastu, raising their son alone. She eventually joined the monastic order established by her husband and became a nun, attaining enlightenment herself. Rahula, Siddhartha and Yasodhara's son, was born shortly before Siddhartha's renunciation. His name, which means fetter or impediment, reflects Siddhartha's view that worldly attachments, including familial ties, could be obstacles to spiritual liberation. Despite this, Siddhartha maintained a compassionate relationship with his son. After attaining enlightenment, the Buddha returned to Kapilavastu, and Rahula eventually became a novice monk, receiving guidance and teachings directly from his father. He is considered to have been a devoted disciple who attained enlightenment. The Shakya clan's significance extends beyond their connection to the Buddha. As a clan, they embodied the values and practices of the Kshatriya caste, including martial skills, governance, and ritual duties. Their republican form of governance was relatively unique in ancient India and reflected a form of early democratic principles, with decisions being made by a council of elders and representatives. The Shakya clan maintained relations with neighboring states through both diplomacy and conflict. They were part of the larger political milieu of the Ganges Basin, interacting with more powerful kingdoms and other republican states. Their relative autonomy allowed them to preserve their distinct cultural and political identity. The Shakya clan eventually faced decline, particularly after the death of the Buddha. They were subjected to military conquest by the Kosalan king, Vidudaba, as a result of political and familial disputes. Despite their eventual downfall, the legacy of the Shakya clan endures through the teachings of the Buddha, which have had a profound and lasting impact on world history. The royal family into which the Buddha was born was instrumental in shaping the early life and environment of Siddhartha Gautama. The values, culture, and political structure of the Shakya clan provided a unique backdrop for the emergence of a profound spiritual leader. The familial relationships and individual members of the Shakya clan played significant roles in the narrative of the Buddha's life, from his birth and upbringing to his renunciation and eventual enlightenment. Their legacy continues to be celebrated and studied as a foundational element of Buddhist history and tradition. The Shakya clan, into which the historical Buddha was born, has descendants and continues to exist today, albeit in a transformed context from its ancient origins. Here are some key points about the continuity and modern presence of the Shakya clan. Today, people who identify as Shakya can be found in Nepal and parts of India. They often trace their ancestry back to the ancient clan and maintain cultural and religious traditions linked to their heritage. The Shakya community in modern times is involved in various professions and has integrated into broader social and economic systems. They continue to uphold Buddhist traditions and practices, often participating in community activities and festivals that celebrate their heritage. Modern Shakyas often maintain a sense of pride in their lineage, with cultural practices that reflect their historical connection to the Buddha. This includes participation in Buddhist rituals, preservation of historical sites, and involvement in religious education. Descendants of the Shakya clan are often involved in the maintenance and promotion of important Buddhist pilgrimage sites, such as Lumbini, the birthplace of the Buddha, Kapilavastu, and other locations associated with the Buddha's life. In some regions, particularly in India, there have been movements to revive and celebrate Buddhist heritage among communities traditionally linked to Buddhism. This has included educational efforts, cultural festivals, and the establishment of new Buddhist institutions. Members of the Shakya community, like many other ethnic and cultural groups, have migrated and formed diaspora communities around the world. These communities often retain a strong sense of their cultural and religious identity, contributing to the global Buddhist community. The Shakya clan, historically significant as the lineage into which the Buddha was born, continues to exist today in various forms. While the clan no longer holds the same political power as in ancient times, their cultural and religious legacy endures. Modern descendants of the Shakya clan can be found primarily in Nepal and India, where they contribute to the preservation and promotion of Buddhist traditions. Through community efforts, education, and cultural exchange, the Shakya clan remains a vital part of the Buddhist world, honoring their historical connection to one of the most influential spiritual figures in history.